ago, so
That's all right. Well, we've been live for a couple of seconds, Scott.
oh, ow. So I had a cold. Did I tell you that I had a cold this weekend?
Doggone it! Was it? Could you tell whether or not it felt like COVID or just a cold?
It was just a cold. Friday, I went downtown, and I was
last Friday.
Last Friday, I went downtown, and by the time I left, I'm trying to remember why I had to hurry home. There was some reason. Oh, because we went and shot afterwards.
Oh yeah, you shooting that gun.
Yeah, and so I kind of hurried home a little bit. You know, had a time limit, I guess, is really what I'm trying to say. Got home.
Clock was ticking.
We did not shoot. We had a Good Friday service. That's what.
Okay.
And went to the Good Friday service and was very congested. Went and recorded at Dave's, and was just super sniffly. And man, the next morning I got up and I told Michelle, I feel terrible. I did go to the grocery store with her, but that's the only place I went, which normally we go to a bunch of places.
Where do you think you were exposed? Work or elsewhere?
I don't know. Hard to say. Didn't go much besides work,
Yeah.
Last week. I think I just got a little bit of a bug, and so Saturday. So I was off Monday, and I took off Monday. So I was bound and determined I was going to be well by Monday, and so I
managed to kick it.
Yeah, I did. I just rested and drank a lot of orange juice, and I'm still a little sniffly, but I feel a lot better now. My big thing is I just feel terrible for falling or after falling.
Yeah, Scott, you had an accident where you basically
had a brush with death. No,
close enough.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was next to a creek. There's a culvert that goes under the road by my work. There's a sidewalk that goes over it. I was on the sidewalk and I fell. If I'd have fallen into the culvert, it's probably 20 foot to a concrete floor.
Takes about 2 seconds to drown to death. Yeah.
Well, there was no water in it on
Wednesday.
Yesterday. But if I'd plunged head first off that thing, there's no doubt in my mind I'd be deader than the hammer.
That fall you took, though, we've been discussing some of your injuries and stuff, but you basically smacked onto your face. You broke the fall, but you still managed to mash your whole face, your muzzle, the muzzle of your face.
I don't know what I hit exactly because my nose has no injuries.
Yeah.
But under my nose does. Right there, I got so
your philtrum.
I don't know how I did that because my nose is in the way. And then, of course, my lip is really. Of
course, your nose is a little more plastic than you might think. If you get it started one way or the other.
Sideways because I think it felt like this.
Yeah. You probably turned your head. Yeah.
Maybe that may have saved me. That may have saved my teeth, saved everything.
But at the same time, put it in with a little bit of scratchy torque as you went in. Yeah. Bad injury, bad accident. They happen, and they were like the thing to marvel at. We're talking about how quick you went down. It was over before it started. It's like that's the way those things happen.
Well,
it's like if I had just that moment to correct that split second.
Oh, would have fallen.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you go up or down stairs and you
Yeah.
disturb your foot and you just catch yourself?
You catch yourself, yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what this was like. It was. I knew I caught my toe on the sidewalk. There's about, I don't know, an inch, 3/4 of an inch difference between the two sections of sidewalk, and I tried to catch myself, but I couldn't. It just wasn't. I couldn't, for whatever reason. I don't know if the foot I tried to get. I don't know. Anyway, then next thing I knew, man, I was in the dirt.
Yeah.
Like I told you, it seemed really slow and really fast.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I'm mostly okay. I'm very sore. Spots of me are very sore. I told Michelle, I go, man, I feel like I need to go get a massage. But the problem is, I always feel worse after a massage. They crank on me, so
yeah. It wouldn't necessarily be the.
I
as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure when I had that sciatica thing, I think I had that kind of cured by resting it up. And then I thought, I'm going to get rid of it. It's kind of like my cigar moment with when I had COVID. It's like I gave it a couple extra stretches I thought I would benefit from. And actually what I was doing was aggravating it again.
Yep.
And it's like, you gotta,
yeah, maybe
self-diagnosis kind of stuff can really get you in trouble.
Yes.
I mean, I'm really bad about it. It's like,
well, I go to the doctor, so I'm okay, Ellis.
Yeah, no, I've got grok. I can say, hey, do I have leprosy?
God, you're obsessed with AI now.
I love the grok. I love asking it questions.
Here's
So here's
the thing. I asked Grok to write me a report on a book trilogy that I read. Write a report on this book trilogy. And Grok wrote a very long book, very concise, obviously not correct. It was so off base, Ellis.
That's funny. Yeah, I had an experience. This happened.
What you're dealing with when you do that stuff. So at your own peril.
Oh, I've just got it as a starting point. I was very impressed with it, though I gave it the parameters of 3-paragraph flash fiction, and then I would give it a prompt of the scenario, and it would do very cliched things. But
that's what you should use it for.
Yeah,
but, people I know use AI to tell. My brother used it to get a start for a business plan. Is that a good idea? I mean, it may.
Well, only if you're a complete newbie like I would be, that would give you a feel for the resources, because typically it has that little notation of saying 15 web pages. It's got a little note that says how many web pages it used to use its own little bit of research. And all you have to do is click those 15 web pages, and you might be on to the idea of being a better business planner.
We have a friend, a mutual friend. I won't tell you who it is now. I'll tell you afterwards if you want me to.
Okay. If I remember to ask you.
Who posted that he saw a comic that someone had sent him, the person that created this, sent it to him, but it was made with AI that scraped his comic. And I don't believe it. I don't know. I don't know. And he's a writer. I don't know what he's
seeing.
Well, I mean, I'm curious. I want to ask, no, wait a minute. What do you? But I'm afraid if I couldn't do that and not come off like I think he's full of crap.
Yeah, you feel like you're doubting him.
I do doubt him, and but I do. I'm curious. I doubt him, but I'm not solid, and I'm curious what makes him say that.
Well, it's getting into that political kind of area where people that are feeling you out and wanting to make sure you hate something as much as they hate it. And there are a lot of artists that are very passionate about saying, let's fend this off. We have to stop this, and you have to be on the team. and it's not being stopped. It's not going to be stopped.
There are people that won't talk to me now because they know that I've done these AI videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's silly.
You know, and I wanted to share them. The latest one, it's on YouTube. I could share it on my webpage, but I'd get crucified by people.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mentioned it to my friend that works at Marvel. I don't want to say his name on the channel, but you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you that he emailed me the other day?
He did. What did he say?
I had emailed him. He just asked how things were going. I'd emailed him, and I didn't get a response. And like a month later, he responded and said, "Oh, you know."
Well, cool. He kept you in the inbox. You didn't end up in spam. That's good.
Yeah, I've not emailed him in a couple of years, and gotten. I think I email about once a year, and I haven't gotten a response in a couple of years. He emailed me back. Oh, you know, asked me if I was still doing comics. Asked me what I was up to. I told that, and I told him about the AI thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was real curious if he would react. Because I suspect he would be interested.
Oh yeah, he'd be like more like a Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter ages ago was ready to get rid of as much artists activity as he could get rid of. You know, he just wanted to be able to write and have it in his hands. You know, but he went through that. You know, according to that one great little Marvel book, the whole complete history of it, that really good book. He was one of the guys that could get it done. That was the only reason he was in that position, you know. And most people just blew up with the stress of what they, you know, the pipeline of the whole crazy idea of putting out comics
for years.
Yeah, but he was the only guy, and he was ready to get out just as quick as he could.
Well, I mean, there are people that have done it for a while, but yeah, Shooter was, I don't know. I mean, it's funny we're talking about this because you know I've been working on my YouTube channel. I did.
Well, that'd make a good essay. That's the other thing.
No, what I want to do. You know what I want to do? You know what I want to do? I want to do a video about why Bronze Age comics are better than modern comics.
There you go. That's a very good idea for an essay.
I think it's provoking enough that people will. But I got to figure out what I'm going to say. I mean, I know in my head why, but I got to formulate it all.
Well, that's where Grok could help you.
No, I don't trust it.
Just give it a couple of prompts and see if you like what it says. You know, it's always asking you at the end of it, saying, hey, "Was that helpful? Maybe we could refine this."
Did you catch that I was lying to you?
Yeah. What? Oh, okay.
No Mario still?
No Mario that I can see. Mario, if Mario does show up, we'll be in the midst of trying to limp our way back into RPG mode.
Right.
And we'll see how that goes. I've done very little extra work on my part.
Oh, yeah, I haven't read. I don't think we've got anything new from him. My problem is he puts attachments in the middle of a conversation, and then I lose them in my email.
Yeah, I've noticed that Mario does kind of pile things up on you. I've read most of it recently, though. I've read his whole setting for what's going on in our time. You know, he goes up to the 30s.
You do see what I'm holding up.
Oh yeah, groovy.
So
have you done all those? No, not tonight.
No, not tonight. Just the girl. I did the girl tonight. The two guys I did over the weekend when I was sick.
Yeah, very good.
I like this sketch. I like spiral bound sketchbooks to draw on at the house because they don't get banged up because they're staying at the house, and you can kind of fold them flat and they're tablet-y and. But I wanted to show his character. I did this character called the Octopus.
Yeah.
And he's got two octopus arms.
Groovy.
Yeah, I thought, so I found Mario's notes that he gave me for our comic we were doing, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. And one of them talked about this group of bad guys, and one of them was called the Octopus, or not the Octopus, but Octopus.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, and there was no description. He just talked about, so-and-so, 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 and the Octopus are here. Nice.
Just
Doodles.
Doodles.
And so I said, what would Octopus, a villain named Octopus, look like? And I thought, he's mutated into an octopus, and so he wears kind of this, almost like a serape over him as a costume on his upper body.
Mm-hmm.
And the sides are open. He's got these two on each side. He's got two octopus, and they're not particularly long or whatever, but he can do stuff with them. It's not like Doc Ock where he can stretch them down the street or whatever.
He's more a cuttlefish.
No, he's more like he's an octopus, but he's more like a real octopus. Anyway, just the idea I came up with.
Have you seen the documentary? What was it called? Something Octopus. My Friend the Octopus. I forget what it was called. It had a really dumb name. But it won all kinds of awards because when you start to watch it, you can't believe yourself, but you just totally get into this guy's story. He discovered this octopus that he could. My Octopus Teacher is the name of it. Have you ever seen it?
No, never heard of it.
Never heard of it. My Octopus Teacher. It's probably on Prime. Check it out. It is the grooviest little doc you'll ever see. It's about a guy that discovers an octopus that he, just like any sort of pet, he coaxes into recognizing him and things like that. And all of a sudden, it's like he can't get over how intelligent this thing is.
Supposedly, octopus are really intelligent.
Yes, and it is pretty amazing.
Don't they think like they maybe actually be alien life?
Yeah, I've heard that kind of idea. I mean, when you think about the way almost everything else shares anatomical similarity, it's kind of weird to think about octopuses like you don't share anything with the rest of us. But it's like that sort of things decided to split off there and never rejoin in terms of like where they.
It's not called Secrets of the Octopus, is it?
No, it's called My Octopus Teacher. I did a little search real quick, and it won some awards.
This says octopuses are like aliens on Earth: 3 hearts, blue blood, and the ability to squeeze through a space the size of their eyeballs.
Yeah, that's cool. That they can. The biggest part of them, I think, isn't it usually the part that they can't squeeze beyond is their mouth. That's the most rigid part of them, I think. But I guess their eyeballs, so they'd have to look after them too. And I think they have fairly big eyeballs, relatively speaking.
They're creepy.
Yeah, they're
at the Natural History Museum in New York City. There's one room that shows like ocean life, and the top it's 2 floors. The top is like water, like lakes and beaches, and so it shows the animals. Then you go down to the 2nd floor of this room. It's open in the middle. There's a big well. If you ever see the Natural History Museum, it's the room with a huge well in it, life-size blue well. But when you go around, it shows the same scene as up here, but it shows what's going on under the water, like 30 foot under or whatever. I mean, it's in some cases it's more than that, but it's just, here's up here, here's down here. In one corner is a diorama that is a octopus, or a giant squid fighting a sperm whale.
Yeah. And it's so weird to think that, when you think about having no other mechanism for not drowning other than holding your breath, how deep those sperm whales go to feast on on those squid. You know, and that's why the fight starts, is because those damn whales think they taste good. You know, and they do fight. They have, you know, that nasty old nose that those whales develop come from, you know, all that fighting with those tentacles that have all those hooks in them and everything. You know, those tentacles are apparently pretty nasty. You know, you think about suckers. These things aren't just suckers. They have like little hooks in them that are an extra special challenge to get loose from once they get a hold of you. But that's not, you know, that's not true for all of it. I mean, there are things that I think the octopuses just have suckers.
Okay, hang on. I got a picture of it. I'm gonna present this.
Okay. That's something I have to assist you with, isn't it? You have it. You have it show up as something to present, and then I have to click on it, or you just do it. We'll see. We'll find out. Add to stage. Here we go.
That's the wrong screen. My screens are backwards.
Pardon me. You know what I've been watching? I've been watching Kurt Russell's four big movies. I just watched
the one where he gets smart, whatever that is.
Okay, I'm about to watch The World's Strongest Man. I just watched The Horse in the Gray Flannel Suit. You talk about your flat occurrences of filmmaking. That was flat. I've added you to the stage.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that. That is eerie. Sperm whale and giant squid.
Yeah.
Dig it. So that is an actual display? How big is that?
Oh, life size.
Wow.
Oh, here, this is good. Here they're working on it.
Wow. It's like Disney in the old, what do they call that? Imaginariums.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what that is. The Imaginariums.
What do they call them?
Oh,
Imagineers. Yeah, there's
suckers.
Yeah, see if you can get save view image. Right click and say view image.
Here, I can do this.
There you go.
Not any bigger.
Control plus sign. There you go. Now we're big.
Yeah. That's enough of that.
Oh, that was cool. No. But it had raspy edges to it, didn't it?
Yeah. So here's the whole room.
Mm-hmm.
And so
a special bit of rasp for gripping.
Oh,
look at that thing.
So this is the room I was telling you about.
Have I been there? I don't think so. I've been to New York. I'm trying to think if I ever managed to get there. I don't think so.
So this little diorama is right here. I don't know why there's something around it, but it's right in this corner. It's kind of a dark corner. So when you come in the room, you come in from the other end. There's no door down here, right? You come in from the other room, and you're face to face with this thing.
Groovy.
Oh, and just beyond that inflatable igloo thing is the diorama that's a good picture of it.
Yeah.
And there's no glass in front of it because they were afraid, since it was so dark, if they put glass in it, you wouldn't be able to see what was in it. And somebody's used a lit up camera, because normally it's very dark in there in that particular corner.
But that gives you, it gives you a sense of the eeriness of being down a mile or so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing, is when they made it, they didn't want it, light is different down there. Nothing really color, because light is so, and so they didn't color anything that you see. Oh, there's a good picture of it.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, all those scrapes on its nose there, on its snout.
Oh, yeah, on the whale. Yeah, and supposedly that's something that happens quite a bit, and that's kind of why they wanted a diorama of it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's funny because that is such a rare specimen to actually encounter the giant squid is hidden to us, but to the whale, it's like, yeah, see them all the time. Big deal.
Yeah.
Go down and eat a gutful all the time. But that's you talk about your GoPro opportunities. You want to see a giant squid, attach that to a whale. You know what? That's a weird thing. You think they would imagine, right? If you said, if it didn't hurt or impede the whale or anything, imagine embedding a GoPro, a really tough GoPro, right in the front of a whale's snout, seeing everything that whale saw. Of course, you'd have to retrieve it, but that'd be part of it.
I think it hurt, and two, I don't think the GoPro would last very long. I don't know what.
Probably not at depths. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what depth they're good for, but I think it would give out fairly quick.
Yeah, it probably would be a nuisance, but you think about all these things that survive for years with all kinds of hooks in it. You could figure out something that did very little damage to embed in the tissue.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
yeah, I know it sounds cruel just even thinking about it, but it is cruel. But just depends on what you think that data is worth.
Yeah, not much to the whale.
He knows not much to the whales.
Yeah, the whale knows what's going on.
Yeah,
so Ellis.
What's my story? Well, lately, the guy that amazes me in terms of like patience for our project on Dino Puns is Mario.
Oh, yeah.
I want to help him boot it out, see it in print, but Mario stalls, and it's like, okay, I can't do anything unless Mario wants to get it done and get it out the door. And that's the way it is.
Yeah, it's his baby.
Well, we've got one big session coming up where we got to do nothing but nudge type around to make him happy with how that looks, and that should be the final thing we do. But knowing it was the final thing, he's passed on making it anything we do in a big hurry.
Oh yeah, well that's.
He's got things he's got to do. He's got a lot of responsibility around his home.
It's funny. Him and I kind of talked about that. We're in an email, and I was bemoaning the fact that I just have no time to do anything. It seems like.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the sad thing about me. I've got time to do things, and I'll waste a day doom scrolling is what you call it, where you don't do anything but do stuff connected to the internet.
That is sad.
Yeah, it is dumb.
So you're talking about what you've been watching. I watched the new Disney Plus Daredevil thing. And Dave on our podcast has said, "Oh, it's okay, but I like the TV. The TV series blows it away." And I thought, well, I haven't watched all the TV series. I thought I had watched the first season, but I hadn't, and it's head and shoulders better than that thing they got out now. It's amazing. It's really, really good.
Well, what do they put out now? Isn't it in some way associated with TV?
Yeah, same actors. Same, but they're calling it Daredevil Born Again, which I don't know if you've ever read that trilogy or that miniseries. Well, it's kind of classic. It's a Frank Miller thing, and they immediately head off down their own thing. It's a typical kind of Marvel deal where they
immediately drop their good idea, huh?
Well, no. They use a classic name from a storyline, but they just don't even use. They just do something completely different, you know.
Just use it as a jumping off point.
No, well, this wasn't even a jumping off point. There was no resemblance between what they put on the screen and because the Daredevil Born Again miniseries, Frank Miller kind of puts Daredevil through hell. Kingpin figures out his identity,
Mm-hmm.
which Daredevil's old girlfriend becomes a junkie, and she sells Daredevil's identity to this guy who sells it to Kingpin. Then Kingpin basically dismantles Matt Murdock's life.
Huh.
You know, blows up his apartment. He ends up homeless, living. Basically, these nuns take him in to their convent or abbey or whatever, nurse him back to health, and he has to like kind of rebuild his life. That's why it's called Daredevil Born Again. It's had none of that in there. It's just amazing how they would use just burn a classic story potentially for nothing.
Does Vincent D'Onofrio in this show have big fight scenes or what? I mean, what do they make of having a big Kingpin? Do they make him do evil things, or do they make him fight?
Oh, and that's what the other thing Dave said was, man, in the miniseries, the Netflix miniseries, the 3 seasons, Daredevil got in some brutal fights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one that's based kind of like on Old Boy, the Korean movie that was famous for that hallway fight scene.
Yeah, the Daredevil miniseries did the fight scene so much better. Oh, I need to leave it 8, by the way.
What's that? Okay. Yeah.
Leave it 8. Oh yeah, the video people are supposed to call me. Like, we got to meet. Oh,
how's that going?
Well, we submitted it. I mean, I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know. Now they're pushing for other things. I don't know. We're supposed to talk about it. And the main guy that got me involved is running in the marathon this weekend.
He's that healthy?
Yeah.
He can.
Well, he's doing a quarter marathon.
Okay.
That's 6 miles. But anyways, like, yeah, so the group is sponsoring him, and so he asked if I could come. Would you be able to come down there? And I'm like, well, I got stuff I got to go to church on Sunday. He goes, well, it starts at 5 in the morning.
Jeez.
Yeah, I should have been like, are you crazy? But I think I'm going down there. He's like, oh, we want everybody to wear shirts. Supposedly they got these kind of like, I hope they're not tight like they look in the picture, but they're kind of like, look like cycling shirts. They're long sleeve, which is a little crazy, but I don't know if I've seen I think what I've seen is like an online, put your image here and we'll attach it to a shirt kind of thing.
Oh.
But it looked like a cycling jersey, big logos like across the top of it and stuff. If it looks as cool, as long as it fits, if it looks cool, I'll wear it all the time. Hopefully, when the weather's appropriate for a long sleeve shirt, that is.
Well, yeah, it sounds like some sort of rash guard or something like that. That's basically just allow you to sweat into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. We'll see. If I get one, we'll see. They're supposed to get together sometime Saturday, I think. Michelle's going to Arkansas to see her parents.
You talk about being conscious of the fact when you start showing off your hair in your videos. I've been bending over here, showing the top of my bald spots here, not being all aware of it. Yeah, the other thing I watched the old Moon Spinners, which has got Haley Mills, which I've always had quite a thing for her because when all this stuff was coming out, I was probably about 12, 11, 13. So whoever was cute and up on the screen was someone I was reacting to. Yeah. And Haley Mills was so cute back then. And but I saw the trivia. Well, the real interesting trivia on this gray flannel suit Kurt Russell movie I just watched. I said, wow, look at that little cute girl there. I wonder if I've been reacting to her throughout her whole Disney run of films. And then I look her up, and that's her only film, and just practically the only thing she was able to do. She was a little pop star and sang a little bit, but she died in a house fire at age 23. In other words, about the time she's done with that film, she's going to be dying. And and it's such weird trivia to, after you're done with the movie, stumble onto it and realize, oh, man.
It is.
And that poor little thing. And but Haley Mills, they trivia on her, that film that I just watched called The Moon Spinners, was that the Haley Mills I fell in love with later, who was nice and trim and obviously very athletic and seemingly body conscious, came about from this movie I saw, The Moon Spinners. She was so self-conscious, felt like she looked like a fat pig, that she developed eating disorders because of it. But what's the result of that? I liked her look later of where she's just really slim. And it's like, okay, you say it's a negative to have an eating disorder, because she makes a big point of that in her biographies and stuff, talk about how she's, had to grow out of all that. But it's like, well, you looked awful good with your eating disorder.
Yeah, you're not supposed to think that, Ellis.
Yeah, I know it. But there are cause and effects. You do keep the weight off when you've got an eating disorder.
Yes, you can. But yeah,
you don't look like Karen Carpenter, and it's like, hey girl, you're about to die. Eat something.
Yes.
That
should be the name of the episode.
Yeah, I've got a whole pile of movies. I've got, of course, Mad Monster Party. I'm going to be checking out here in a day or so.
Have you not watched it yet?
Nope. It's still in transit.
Oh, so you don't have it?
I don't have my hands on it right at the moment. I've got the new Alien movie, Romulus.
Oh.
And I've got to watch that so I can return it in the system. So, because that one's highly sought after, of course.
Yeah.
I had to wait for that one.
Yeah, I own Mad Monster Party. I saw it on TCM one time. And I caught the last half of it, and I was just like, "What in the world?" And so it kind of was on my radar, and I was at, I think, Half Price Books one time, and it was on their shelf, and I go, "Oh, I'll buy this." I don't think I paid much for it.
The trivia on that is it allegedly inspired Tim Burton in a big way for his own nightmare on.
Well, I mean, it'd be hard to quantify it one way or the other, but when you see it, you'll say, okay, I can kind of see it.
Yeah. Just the whole art behind all that Rankin Bass stuff back in the day. Of course, Rankin Bass was one of the weirdest combinations of things. Rankin Bass got together with Toho.
Oh yeah,
and put out my favorite King Kong movie, other than King Kong, which is King Kong Escapes, and it's a pretty decent. It looks a lot better than that one King Kong versus Godzilla, That was an awful King Kong. That's the deal. It's like
and that's hard to see because that's not on any streaming service either. By the way,
I
Godzilla.
thought I was seeing that King Kong versus Godzilla showing up here lately. Yeah, 60s. Huh?
No, because its rights are split between Universal and Toho.
Oh, okay.
I bought that DVD not long ago because of that. I wanted to watch all the Godzilla movies, and there was no place I could stream that one.
I wonder, is that included in that big Criterion thing of
I don't
Godzilla?
know. I don't know. It may be.
Well, it's almost 8 o'clock here, Scott. You give yourself 5 minutes of lead out, or
yeah, I need to go. I got a few things I want to do before I get on the phone with those people.
Yeah. Well, Scott, we'll say goodbye to everybody out there that may catch up with this show, and Mario, who never caught up with us. Okay.
Yeah, he probably got hung up on something. No big deal.
Okay, we'll end the stream right now.
Okay.
Bye-bye.